Hey, y'all. Welcome to the Common Good Podcast. Sorry about having to do a Friday edition for those of you that are always used to our regularly scheduled programming. But life presented itself in such a way that it offered us the gift of a Friday podcast. In other words, I couldn't do it Tuesday. Rob couldn't do it Thursday. But we'll make it sound all fancy like that.
Yeah, I could not do it yesterday, Doug, on Thursday because I had to take my daughter to Little Rock, Arkansas, where Whimsy received some prize, a large trophy and a $125 prize for winning the stock market game.
At school.
At school, yeah. So... You know, apparently I have in 13 weeks, she and her partner, they had $100,000 to invest, and they ended with $118,000. They made $18,000 in 13 weeks. Not bad.
Not bad.
And yeah. So we had a lot of fun. It was at the Clinton Presidential Library, and we had a wonderful time. And
what was her strategy? Do you know? Did she share it? Is she like, hey, old man, you had your chance?
Yeah, her strategy was, her partner invested heavily in a computer chip company.
Okay.
And really kind of let it ride. Whimsy kind of bought and sell a bit more, and went with the like what's popular kind of approach. So she bought Gap and Old Navy stock like right before spring break because she figured that like there would be spring break shopping that would be going on.
Okay.
It
just is. Look, friends, God bless Whimsy. I'm glad she won. People spending money at Old Navy does not impact the value of the stock. Stocks, after an initial offering, stocks are just what other people think the stock is worth.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh my gosh. Wow. She's being groomed.
Yes.
As our financial markets want to do.
Doug, check this out. Look at this.
Is that what she won?
No. This is
Did you take her gift? Did you lift your
Yeah, look at this.
What is that?
This is a jar of Skittles.
Yeah, those on the podcast. That is a jar of Skittles larger than your head, right? That thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you a fan of Skittles?
No.
Like Skittles? No. It's a jar of Skittles. Doug, the number of Skittles, you want to guess how many Skittles are in this jar?
9,411.
Oh, you're way, way, way high.
4,206.
Ooh, closer, but still high.
3,011.
Still high.
1,044.
2,439.
How would I know?
Do you know why there's 2,439 Skittles in this jar, Doug?
Approximately that number? No. Why is that?
There are 2,439 Skittles in this jar because it's been 2,439 days since my opponent, Congressman Steve Womack, held a town hall in our district.
Genius.
He face to face looked people in the eye and answered their questions. And so we are in the month of May highlighting this fact that it's been 2,439 days since Congressman Womack did that, had a town hall, and we are doing the You Deserve a Town Hall tour.
You do deserve a town hall tour. You shouldn't be skittling away. You got to come up with some skittle. Skittle.
Yeah. We did a little. I did a little taste the rainbow joke. You did
a little skittle
on the video.
A little skittle humor.
Yeah, a little skittle humor. He's skididdle-daddling his way back to DC.
Skedaddling. Why don't you skedaddle down here to Northwest Arkansas, Congressman?
Yeah, skedaddle like in front of the good folks in Van Buren who deserve a town hall. So we are in the month of May, Doug. I am doing 9 town halls all across the district.
Great.
Trying to communicate to folks, hey, if somebody wants to be your representative in Washington, D.C., they ought to be willing to listen to you and answer your questions. And
love it. Man, line those things up outside your town hall, get another set of those, and line up 2,900 whatever in a straight line, and then shoot one of those little videos where it's like the fast frame, and then it goes into your town hall.
That's a good idea.
All right, let's keep brainstorming what we could do with Womack.
Oh yeah.
Hey, look, we're in the heat of it. You are running for Congress. You're now the official nominee. You are right in the heat. That's happening all over the country. Folks are dropping out. People are receiving the nominations. Some of the MAGA people eliminated some of the non-MAGA folks in Indiana. So like it's starting to settle out here on what the situation is going to be. And I just have to say, I don't think any Democratic strategist, I don't think any faith voter organizer like us could have done more in the last month for our cause than Donald J. Trump himself. I mean, we've always said the man is a self-cleaning oven, does all the work for you. I just didn't know it was going to do the work for us. I mean, he couldn't set you up better. If we know, I know deep in my soul that he is a deep plant and an operative of Putin's. I just also didn't know he was a deep operative of Chuck Schumer's. I didn't see that coming. I didn't know he was a rogue agent. You couldn't do the things that this administration is doing. You could not be Kash Patel having a branded whiskey or something that he had specially bottled and specially packaged with his name on it.
Yeah.
Did you see that? Did you see that the guy who's accused of alcohol problems?
Yeah. Gives away whiskey as a gift.
Decided to be Johnny Walker about the whole thing?
Yeah. Johnny Walker. Doug, have you ever had Johnny Walker Blue? I've always wanted to try Johnny Walker Blue, and I've never had a reason to celebrate, splurge on such an expensive whiskey.
TikTok listeners to the podcast, somebody could come through for old Rob. Send him a bottle.
Maybe November 3rd. November 3rd.
Hey, great. Yeah. Is it expensive? Is it just rare? Is it both?
It's a couple $100 on Sam's Club for a bottle.
Hey, Kimberly Johnson says in the chat, good morning. I stumbled onto you accidentally while trying to troubleshoot my laptop. Kimberly, that could not be a more perfect description of the profile of the Common Good podcast listeners.
Yeah, sounds about right.
I was literally trying to do something else, and then I got you guys.
Here you are. Yeah, now I am hearing voices coming from my laptop. It's these goofballs.
Hey, you too.
And Doug, while Donald Trump is doing, and his administration is doing everything to ensure that Democrats take the House of Representatives and the Senate in the midterm elections, his Supreme Court is doing everything it possibly can to make sure that they don't.
Yeah.
It's really crazy to watch in real time the self-destruction and the self-protection happening at the very same time.
Kamala Harris came out this last week after that ruling and said from the Supreme Court that basically eliminated so many pieces of the Voting Rights Act, the 1965 Voting Rights Act. And she said, hey, we knew this was coming. Right. So the people who've watched the court, the people who know what's going on, the people who know the cases that have been brought forward know that a plan has been hatched to use this Supreme Court in order to undermine. The fact that when Democrats had control of the houses of Congress and the presidency, they did not shore up abortion rights and voting rights. Look, for people who know, like the Supreme Court doesn't get to set laws. The Supreme Court rules on the constitutionality. Congress needed to, and today needs to, and Rob, I know you will lead this charge, pass legislation that protects people who are being systematically bigoted against in our voting. The solution here is not to cry. I don't want to see another commentator crying on TV, because this is a human-created problem.
Yes.
And Democrats need to solve it legislatively. You cannot say, but we thought precedent. We thought that a 65-year-old law was going to be, forever. Just pass a new one, would you please?
Right.
That protects these rights. Every day you people can write and put forth laws, and 10 times a year you can vote on those things. You should have been doing it. And every person who's been in elected office in the last 10 years at the federal level, you should have been saying, hey, let's shore this up, not saying, what happens if they get control and then their Supreme Court? Like, the Supreme Court can change no laws on their own. They have to have a case. They have to. The Voting Rights Act was beautiful. It was great. It was also out of date. You could have passed the John Lewis Voting Rights Act to shore it up. You could have, I think it's the Freedom to Vote Act, which is now before Congress. These ideas have been around for decades. They could have shored this up from 2008. They could have shored it up in 2012. Rant over. Folks, the answer is new representatives that will save the country, not those who will sit around and whine about it. It's a terrible thing the Supreme Court was able to do, and it should have been prevented.
Yes. It is so easy, Doug, for people who care, people who pay attention, to simply complain about Republicans. Republicans bad, MAGA bad. Look at all the bad things they're doing. Oh, this is terrible. This is terrible. This is terrible. And that's true. And in so many instances, feckless Democratic leadership has refused to move forward with the kind of courageous and bold initiatives that are needed that will hold all of this stuff in check. The Republicans are absolutely responsible for what is happening. And it takes two to tango. So many people in the Democratic Party and their leadership have refused to lead in any of these issues. They could have done it with abortion. They didn't. They preferred to keep abortion as a political issue that they could demagogue Republicans with. And as a result, women lost their rights to reproductive health.
Yes.
They could have done it with voting rights, but they didn't. They could have done it with climate change, but they didn't. They could have done it with over and over and over the tax policy, but they didn't. They could have done something about how we fund elections in America, but they didn't. Healthcare. They passed the ACA, but then it went to the Supreme Court, whatever it's called. What is it called? The ACA. What is that?
I can't remember. I think it means Obamacare.
Yeah, that's right.
I think so. What ACA
the
is short
Affordable
for?
Care Act. Yeah, they could have shored up and protected the Affordable Care Act, but they didn't. They waited until the last minute, and they allowed Republicans to demagogue and to strip that. So many issues. Democrats, when they have the House of Representatives and the Senate and the presidency, have refused to lead. And people are like, this is
they've led, but they haven't led in ways that protect these things that so many of us want.
Yes. Well, they have, this is not theoretical policy.
Yeah.
This is people's lives.
Yeah. These are like the big things that people warn if Republicans take over these offices, federal offices, the presidency, Senate, Congress. This is what they'll do. This is the thing they warn
And
about.
they did.
And look, friends, family members, aunties, uncles, let's not be confused with the United States and Iran. Iran has a supreme leader. We have a Supreme Court. The Supreme Court means it's the top court in the judicial branch of the three branches of government.
Yes.
The
It is
judicial
not
branch,
all powerful.
the legislative branch, and the executive branch. Say it
Yes.
together, friends. Three equal branches of government.
Yes.
Being sure that anything that comes out of two other branches can have a, say it together, checks and balances. So when the legislative branch, Congress, the Senate, and the House, and look, some people know this stuff so well and they think, why is Doug being pedantic? Because I've talked to a number of people just in the last few months who are like, what makes up Congress?
Yes.
People shouldn't have to know.
Doug, I last week was invited to go speak to a group of Cub Scouts about the federal government and how our
works.
government is set up and
Wow.
branches of government and how it all works. And it was so much fun. The kids knew more than I expected them to,
Okay.
and they were really engaged. And it was, and I told them, I one of my pet peeves, Doug, and I might when I get to Congress, I might file a law that to eliminate the Electoral College, and if that's unable to do, one of my pet peeves is, Doug, the Electoral College is an even number. There can be a tie. Why can there be a tie?
Okay.
And why can there be a tie? And so I'm telling the kids this. I'm like, yeah, you have to have 270 votes to be in the Electoral College to be elected president. And it's crazy to me because it's an even number. And one of the kids sitting over on the side is big, burly, husky kid. he goes, That's like doing best of 4 in rock, paper, scissors. That doesn't make any sense.
Here's your kid.
Like, exactly.
Hey, kid, what are you doing this summer? You got time to skittle around the town, skittle around Northwest Arkansas? All right, Rob, since you brought it up, we're going to play the game you like to play with me, which is, Doug, have you seen this video? We're going to play, Rob, have you seen this video? Since you brought up politicians talking to kids, here's Donald Trump.
Oh, boy.
In the Oval Office.
Yeah.
Announcing the return. You've seen it.
Yes.
You know about it. Announcing the return of the Presidential Fitness Award.
Yeah.
Which I remember my time dealing first with the Presidential Fitness Award. The shame and humiliation because I was a big kid. I don't know when you do it. 6th grade, maybe? Is that about right? 6th grade?
Oh, boy, it feels earlier than that to me, but
4th or 5th grade? Fourth grade?
something.
Well, anyway, in 6th grade, I was 6 feet tall, 160 pounds.
Mm.
I was a man-sized body.
Yeah.
Without the muscle tone.
Yeah.
Something similar to that in 4th grade. You know, it didn't all happen. I wasn't, you
were 6
Bruce
feet
Banner.
in 6th grade?
Yeah, 6 feet in 6th grade. And 160 pounds, like
Wow.
full size. Full size.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. I've only grown 7 inches since 6th grade. I couldn't do the pull-ups.
Oh, yeah.
I remember being told to go stand in the line for the people that had to do the bent arm hang.
Mm-hmm.
It was, I remember doing the run, had to do like a mile run. Like just randomly call a kid out of class on some day and say, run a mile. You know how far a mile is if you've never run?
What shoes are you wearing? Right? Like,
It was so dumb. I remember doing some activity. I don't know what we had to do in that. And I just remember cursing Gerald Ford. Okay, so that tells you when was Ford president? Whatever years somewhere before 76. So I was less than 10.
Yeah.
I was 9 or something. It was okay. Presidential Fitness Award. We could go on and on about how ridiculous it is. Obama changed it to greater wellness. Of course, Trump is obsessed with Obama, so he's been trying to fix everything Obama did. So he's reinstating the Presidential Fitness Award. I'm sure calling it the Donald J. Trump Fitness Award, which the irony is thick as, a foggy London morning.
Yeah.
You kidding me? Okay. This guy. So he's announcing in the Oval Office, surrounded by children and children activity activists. Here's what he says.
We can't let Iran have a nuclear weapon. You might be too young for this. I don't know what they probably know. They probably know better than most people. But you can't let a bunch of lunatics have a nuclear weapon, or the world would be in trouble. The world would be in trouble. They killed 42,000 people last month. 42,000 unarmed protesters. They had no guns. So they had a 250,000 people crowd. And they had snipers. They had like 4 or 5 snipers in buildings up high. And you're standing there, and all of a sudden the guy on your left goes down. And that's what happened with a women protest. They had 200,000 women protesting a year ago. And everyone thought that was the end of Iran. And then all of a sudden, a woman dropped dead with a bullet right there. Always right there.
Oh.
The President of the United States. A profoundly broken man with children describing a government killing thousands and puts his finger right where the woman gets shot in the forehead. Always right there. Rob, it is.
I don't know about you, but I am sick of this shit. I'm sick of it. Can't he just behave like a normal human?
Can't he just behave like a normal human? Now, Rob, when you were describing being with the Cub Scouts and you start launching in that there's an even number, kids are like, wow, the old people just will go down. Those old politicians, man, they will. But can you believe Trump traumatizing children and he even knows he's about to do it. He's like, I don't even know if we should bring it up in front of them. Well, and then he talks himself into it. Well, they probably know, as he always says, better than anyone. Yeah. Kids that have been used as pawns put in front of in the White House to pitch the Presidential Fitness Award, who weren't even alive when the change happened the last time. So it's not like they're like the good old days. These kids are sitting there listening to the president rattle on, not about kids, not about fitness.
But about state-sponsored violence.
Murder. Genocide level murder in front of the kids.
Okay. I just want to make a side point. Can we just put in the parentheses? And this is good because Andrew Nesselroth, has a comment about what happened in Minneapolis. In fact, blaming it on you, Doug. So I don't know if Andrew's a friend of yours.
No, I don't think I know Andrew.
I don't know.
Hi, Andrew.
I'm
sure you're from Minneapolis, Andrew. I'm sure you know.
Yeah. You're the reason 2 people died in Minnesota.
Yeah. Okay. So side note to your side note before, when Trump goes, and 42,000 people, and they didn't even have guns. Oh, you know what that reminds me of?
This is what I'm getting to. This is my parenthesis. I remember when Andrew Preddy was murdered by federal agents, and the justification was, well, he was carrying a weapon. You shouldn't carry a weapon when you're protesting. You should, the whole point of the ICE narrative was that Andrew Preddy was armed in Minneapolis, legally carrying a firearm. And
There to
now
do the maximum damage possible, they said.
Now Donald Trump is bemoaning the fact, lamenting the fact that unarmed, and he makes the point, unarmed, without guns, protesters are being slaughtered in Iran. The cognitive dissonance of these people, the complete lack of self-awareness, the internal consistency is just mind-bogglingly bad. They just will say anything in the moment that sounds good, that makes their argument, and ending the parentheses, even if that means talking about murder in front of children.
You know, I'm sure some
describing crumpling bodies at this, like
dropping next to somebody, and then saying parenthetically, my parenthetical comment, madmen can't have nuclear weapons. Because why? They would use them on a nation that they're at war with, killing civilians. What nation used nuclear weapons against a country we were at war with, killing civilians in the hundreds of thousands? Twice. Us. Yeah, but we had to because the war. Well, Iran is at war. The whole point of nuclear weapons is annihilation. That's the whole point. Anybody who uses them ever is a madman. Anybody who has them and plans to use them is a madman. Anybody who on Easter or any other given Sunday implies that an entire civilization will be destroyed is a madman. That very person, this broken individual, said, I was just pretending to be a madman as a negotiating tactic, telling them I'm just pretending to be a madman. But he knows that the very thing he's threatening makes him a madman, but we keep our nuclear weapons so that we can use them against a nation as a madman would. When you have a person who doesn't know how to stop his mouth, when he says, I probably shouldn't even say this in front of the kids. Did you catch that at the beginning?
Yeah.
I probably shouldn't even. Well, they probably know better than anyone. So there's my excuse to talk about this in front of the kids.
Yeah,
somewhere deep in his little broken brain, he knew.
You know why they know better than anyone about gun violence?
Yeah.
Because they're kids in America.
Yeah.
Who have had to learn how to deal with gun violence in their classrooms. And the thought that that this administration, and frankly, going back to our previous conversations, previous administrations and Congresses have done precious little to protect our children from gun violence. So much so that there's a callousness about talking about gun violence in front of them in the Oval Office.
On the day when you're announcing, we're going to return to the presidential fitness standards of the 1970s. Look, if I'm guessing a reporter asked him something. So, Mr. President, Iran, what you say, the whole reason for the setup is let's change somebody in the communications department is like, sir, because, they always call him sir. Sir, Republicans are getting their proverbial asses handed to them in every poll. We need to pitch something else that we can put out in the world to your average independent voter that makes you not look like a monster. We've got this presidential fitness proclamation coming. Let's get some kids in there. Let's get the DoorDash woman to come to the door. Let's do something.
These are the softball questions, the softball events that this guy strikes out on every single time.
He's striking out playing political t-ball.
Yes. 100%. 100%.
And then somebody asks him a question, I'm guessing, baits him. What about Iran? What about the war? Are these kids going to get drafted? Is this war going to be going on so long that after their presidential fitness award certification, they are ready to get into boot camp?
Yeah,
I don't care what they asked him. The answer is, hey, that's really important. But right now we're here talking about this with the kid. Like, he does stay on message because his only message is his broken brain, because he knows that Obama got the nation of the United States into a deal with the nation of Iran, and he broke it, and now he's broken everything. Look, we're not going to go back to the 1996, 1998 time where we're like, character counts in this country, and we can't have a president that would do this thing. Character, we're not reaching for character counting. We just want someone who's not so profoundly broken that once again, 2 out of 3 weeks, we can show video from the White House of the president with children not knowing what to do, saying to them, you could sell it on eBay. I'm going to take it as my own. Being like
Joe Biden carried around an auto pen. Oh my goodness.
I mean, it's just think about, again, he is the president of the United States that in our three branches of government, we have infused an individual, unlike any other branch of government. We've infused the executive branch with an executive that has extraordinary power. Yeah. And it's a profoundly sad, depressed, anxiety-ridden, by his own admission last week, man who doesn't know how to act like a normal person. Probably shouldn't say this in front of the kids. Snipers. Think about that, kids, when you're back home. The woman just standing in the and then someone falls down. There's a sniper bullet in her head. What is wrong with you? And therefore we should bomb them. Rob, because they're going to kill their people, we should bomb them so that they can't have a nuclear weapon and stay in power as the same administration in Iran, so they can keep doing the same things. Nothing that Donald Trump said was regime change. If he had said, and by the way, this is why we have to get the supreme leaders, the Ayatollahs, the whole spread from Patriot, the whole spread. We got to get them all out, because this is what they do. This was the argument in Iraq. This was the argument in Afghanistan. Threat to us and the way they're behaving with their own citizens is something that the international community has to stand up against. That is not what Donald Trump even says they're doing. All he is saying is they're so brutal, they will kill 42,000 people and snipers in the crowd picking off people, innocent, unarmed. 5 or 6 snipers.
Like, I mean,
that's a lot of
specific number of snipers.
Yeah, because
the number of, like, the average kill shots from 5 or 6 snipers.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So obviously he's just making things up because he's Donald Trump. But he didn't say our actions in Iran are to free those citizens of Iran from an oppressive government. It was to free the people of Israel from the attacks of the Iranian government, not to free the Iranians. That's not what he said. It was to protect the adversary of Iran, which everyone has said for decades is Israel. So you sit in the room and you say, let me paint a picture for you of government terror. That's why we are inflicting our military's terror on their population so that they don't do a horrible madman thing to another nation. They can't even come up with, Rob, which is what you would come up with day after day if you were trying to justify the war. And we haven't even talked about the fact that driving back from Florida in our big, in Good Force One, our RV of Common Good Impact, diesel fuel was nearly $6 in Illinois.
Yeah. Yeah.
The diesel fuel costs collapsed an airline. That prices are so high on everything in America because of the choices of one man. Not even administration, just tariffs and a chosen military action in a oil producing nation.
I say this over and over and over again. I said it in a TV interview yesterday. The President of the United States,
drop.
whoever the President of the United States is, gets way too much credit, way too much blame for gas prices. The stickers of, I did that, like the President of the United States actually has very little impact on what you pay at the pump day in and day out. Unless you bomb Iran. The one thing you can do that could make an impact on gas prices, this guy did.
Yeah.
The one thing a president could do that would increase the cost of gas prices immediately for the American people and have the impact of all that affects, from the cost of food, construction materials, clothing. Everything is more expensive when oil is more expensive. And this guy did the one thing. When prices were already too high, he did the one thing he could do to make it all go up. And yesterday, Doug, I paid here in Arkansas, I paid $4 a gallon to fill up to go to, which is high for us.
Are you buying the high octane stuff? Are you moving to the right on that thing, or you clicking the pump dispenser on the left?
No,
you're getting the cheap stuff.
Yeah, I was driving Vanessa's car, so and listen, let me tell you. Never been more happy about my decision to buy an electric car for getting around town here. I'm driving around in my Nissan Leaf. Really happy I don't have to stop at the gas pump.
Do you just beep when you go by the gas stations? Do you just give a little beep and a wave?
Suckers! Yeah, no.
Is your Leaf 100% electric, or is it one of those?
100% electric.
So you got to charge it at night?
Yep.
Did you plug it in last night?
I did.
Okay. Do you work? How many times have you been laying in bed and thought, "Oh,
it's happened. It's happened." I have walked outside in my underwear to plug in my car. Yeah, it's happened. And
any chance you have a ring cam in the driveway that we could just get a quick screenshot?
Probably should, but I don't. It's this guy has done the one thing he could do, and it is. It is self-destructive in a way that I don't fully understand. Now you begin to get, like, Doug, we've asked ourselves the rhetorical question over the years. How could a person known for being such a successful business person, how could they have so many bankruptcies?
Yeah.
How do you bankrupt a casino?
Yeah. How do you have lenders in America that won't work with you as a developer? That's what they do. That's what they exist to do.
You just think, like, okay, well, this guy has this reputation of being such a great businessman, and yet the track record is one that just causes you to go, does he understand how finances work?
Yeah.
And then you look at a situation like this, and you're like, does he understand how the American economy works?
Oh.
Like, it's just And so, in the latest distraction attempt, we asked for the Epstein files. We got the Amelia Earhart files instead.
I don't know
We
that
asked
reference,
for-
but that's a great line. You got to tell me what that reference is after your riff is done here.
Oh, you don't know that? Like
No.
yeah, he released files about Amelia Earhart.
What about there were hidden files about Amelia Earhart?
Yes,
Why?
yes, and they had nothing in them, but like, yeah.
Why were they secret? Why were they being kept? Okay.
I don't know, but there were
Okay.
UFO files now. UFO files. And there's been, I don't know if you've noticed this, Doug, but in the couple of days in the lead up to the UFO files being released, that are going to now, they're going to trickle out so that every little blip in a fuzzy camera shot can be analyzed and, be a whole new thing to, to build a theory around. In the buildup to this, there was a concerted effort to scare Christians. I don't know if did you notice this?
I don't know anything about the UFO files being released. I'm completely missed this.
There were pastors warning, saying that they had gotten some preview of the files, and that what was going to be released could shake people's faith. It could cause them to question everything they believe about God, and that these UFO files could be like, the death knell of Christianity, because
of God.
They might portray a reality that we have not conceived of.
How did Jesus die for the civilizations
one of my favorite, my wife complains that my head is full of lyrics, and often they're, lyrics from contemporary Christian music.
From the 90s. No longer contemporary.
Yeah, it's right. No, formerly contemporary Christian music. FCCM.
It's like the oldies rock station where they had to put that on the oldies rock station. You're like,
yeah. Larry Norman lyric. Our friend Tim Gilman will like this. He's friends with Larry Norman. It's from the 70s, not the 90s. If there's life on other planets, I'm sure that he must know, and he's been there once already and died to save their souls.
Yeah, see? There's already a workaround right in the file folder. Just
Larry Norman had it. Oh my goodness. But so this distraction is going to work with some people.
Okay.
But ultimately, you get snapped back to reality every time you stop at Casey's, or you stop at Maverick, or you stop at Pilot, Flying J, owned by the owner of the Cleveland Browns, Jimmy Haslam. You stop at the Loves, and you're like, oh,
ooh,
that's more than I planned on paying.
More than I bargained for.
Can't distract from that.
And as sad as it is to me, the one thing that will motivate Americans when it comes to their presidential selections is how much fuel costs.
Yep.
Not how much the democracy is going to be maintained, not how many children are going to be terrorized, not how much pain and suffering is going to be inflicted on the innocent in our country and around the world.
Nope. How much you pay at the pump.
So what does the guy do? Makes everything at a gas station more expensive. Almost everything at a gas station has some origin as an imported item.
Yeah.
From the plastics to the ingredients, everything's being tagged, unless you're Apple Computers, and then the most wealthy business in America doesn't pay it. But those Skittles, it's costing them more to make Skittles.
Yeah, it's costing me more to fill up a jar of 2,439 Skittles to highlight the fact that Steve Womack has not faced his constituency in 2,439 days, September of 2019. Doug,
That's a softball setup, friend. You see how a politician does a softball setup?
The last time
there.
Steve Womack had a town hall in this district, the final season of Game of Thrones hadn't aired yet.
Wow. You didn't know what was happening?
The last time Steve Womack, I got a whole riff here.
Yeah,
The last time
go.
Steve Womack had a town hall in this district, Baby Yoda did not exist. The last time that Steve Womack had a town hall in this district where he looked voters in the face and answered their questions, none of us knew the word coronavirus. The last time Steve Womack held a town hall in this district, Chad Morris was the head coach of the Arkansas Razorbacks. And everything was less expensive. I should find out what gas costs in 2019.
There it is. There it is. There it is.
That would be a good little one.
Yeah, the last time Steve Womack had a town hall in this district, looking the voters in the face, Donald Trump was president.
Yeah, it's
That time.
Yep.
There's been a guy. It's just so sad.
Yep.
There are a lot of things that can break a nation. Systemic racism that we haven't dealt
September
with.
2019, gas prices in Arkansas were averaging around $2.22 per gallon.
It was half as much.
Yeah, we're now paying
Half as much.
I paid $3.99 yesterday.
Oh, $3.99. Okay, it was $4.50 in Illinois. There's a lot of things that can break a nation. Systemic racism, economic inequality, a justice system that won't contend with abusers and terrorizers, and a broken person in the executive seat of the executive branch of the federal government.
Yep.
It shouldn't be that way. We should put limits on the presidency because twice people in this country have elected Donald Trump. So we will elect someone who is so profoundly broken that everything is him. Face on passports. A ballroom that he said would be paid for by all of his little Richie friends that Congress
the money was already in house.
Just said they want to allocate $1 billion, not for the construction, but for security to make the constructed building usable. Hey, how much is the car? Oh, the car is $12,000. Oh, great. I'll take it. You're signing and you're like, why does it say that it's $24,000? Did you want an engine with that car? Did you want wheels with that car? Well, that's an extra charge.
Yeah.
How much is the ballroom going to cost? We got it raised. So we can spend that and then move in. Oh, for sure. Oh, but the president couldn't be in there because the security add-ons that are necessary for it being a federal building connected to the White House, that's going to cost $1 billion. I just saw a clip, Rob, which I don't know how I didn't see it earlier, where Donald Trump says, when I said Mexico was going to pay for the wall, I didn't mean they were going to send us a check. I mean, that's ridiculous. That's not how it works, fools. What I meant was through expanded business, blah. Yeah. Have you seen that clip? It's
No.
like old. It's like Mexico's going to pay for it is a sophisticated act of international economic diplomacy. My friends are going to pay for the ballroom. No money from the American people. Doesn't mean the American people aren't going to spend money on the ballroom. I mean, that's ridiculous. Why would you think that? This is beyond gaslighting. This is just sheer bullshittery at the highest level. And millions of people are recognizing it.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And the self-sabotage is profound. It's profound. It needs to be studied. Hey, Doug, this was kind of a last minute impromptu podcast. I got to get rolling.
Let it roll, baby.
I got to take my...
Hey, okay, then real quick, because I want to say this for the end. Did you count all of those, or did you make a container that you counted like 10 and then filled the container a bunch of times?
Oh, that would have been a good idea.
Oh, shit. You counted all, you counted them?
No, I sat here at my desk, I turned on a TV show, and I counted.
1, 2. How many packages was it? Did you buy the big packages? Is there a pile of wrappers?
There are
Oh.
2 of these.
Two of those.
This was what was left.
Okay. Hey, that's something people put on Reddit. I counted how many Skittles come inside the big jug, and it's 1,000. That should be a Reddit thing. How many Skittles am I getting in that? Or just go to Costco. I'm sure per Skittle they have a breakdown on the.
Well, I go to Sam's Club, and I might have asked ChatGPT how many Skittles come in a package.
The big package.
Well, no, but then I did the math. So you can.
But
do
to be
the
clear,
math.
you
There's
asked Claude. You're no longer a ChatGPT user, right?
No, it depends on what it is. So this has
what?
nutrition facts.
You can't be a reputable person and use that AI.
I do time. This has about 51 servings per container, and the serving size is 29 pieces. Serving size is 29. Doug, would you eat? I
haven't
Skittles.
eaten 29 Skittles in my life. I've never had a serving size of Skittles. Cumulative.
A serving size is 29 pieces. So
is each one of those things a piece though, or do they make a piece more than one?
No,
because they do that tricky stuff on those.
Yeah.
On those.
No, serving size is 29 pieces, about 51 servings per container. So I, stood in Sam's Club and pulled out my phone and hit the calculator and said, "What's 51 times 29?" And found that out. And then I realized I needed to buy 2 of these to be able to fill up this big jar of.
Okay, one more trick idea. Don't ask people how many are in it. Here's why: because I said 19,000.
Yeah.
Then the real number got smaller because people have like me have no idea how many things are in a thing. Get the packages, rip them open, dump them in. Is this how many days? Is this make a video? Is this how many days? Is this how many days? Is this how many days? Is this? And then it speeds up. Is this how many days? Is this how many days? Is this how many days? And then you get the big one out and you dump the whole big one in there. That's how many days.
That's good.
Because people don't know. It's just a visual representation, I would have needed the measurements on that thing. I would have needed the depth. I need to know how thick the container glass is. And then I would have said 19,000 because I don't know how to.
Yeah. But if people want to know, they can go to youdeserveatownhall.com. Youdeserveatownhall.com.
You bought youdeserveatownhall.com?
Yeah, I did. Go to it right now. Pop it up there.
Slash other campaigns, and you're selling that to candidates whose people won't do.
You go there. I'm kind of proud of this. Just
don't you have to go? Are you gonna?
Yes, I do. I do need to
what's
go.
it called again? What's the extremely long URL?
Youdeserveatownhall.com. Here we go. This is riveting. This is riveting broadcasting right here.
Yeah, it's because anything else on the internet. All right. How do I don't know if I know an eCam how to. Okay, I'm just looking at it. It's got a huge number, 2,439. And you got it paid for by Robb for Congress.
Yeah. And then you hit that find a town hall near you, and you can see we got 9 town halls coming up.
Can you put his face on there?
I could.
Like in shaded, like.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Or no, like a miss. Okay, we'll talk. We'll talk later about that. Yeah, I got ideas. Like a missing person in a missing person.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Do up a milk carton.
A milk carton. You should like print up those missing from town hall things with Steve Womack and hand them out at your events.
I'm planning on taking this with me to all of the town halls.
Oh yeah. Well, if you could spring on it, you could have somebody just up there just dropping them in while you're talking. People are watching that thing fill up.
Yeah.
You get a big skinny one that's real tall.
Yeah, that's good.
That's fun. Okay. All right, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Okay. Bye, y'all.